Hi, we are back for science experiment number 3. And so what you're going to need for that is you've got a bag in there and it's got a napkin in it and it's got 2 different seed bags. And then you're also going to need, your kit either looks like this. Sorry, when I was ordering them, I couldn't get everything I needed. Or it's just got the container where you're going to need that out. And it's okay if you don't have the planetarium thing over it. We can figure out how to do that differently. So what you're doing is you're going to need to find your soil pellets. These are soil pellets. Now, soil has got a lot of great things in it. That's why our plants are able to grow like they are. So what we're going to do is we're going to take one of these soil pellets and we're going to soak it in water. Yes, it turns out that soil is about 50% water. Actually, it might be even a little bit more. And so soil has water in it. It's got some good microbes. It's got some good organic living material in it. Yes. And then it allows our plants to grow and develop. So this experiment's going to take a little bit longer, but this is one that I wanted to put in here for biology. Biology is the study of life or living things. And so we're going to get some living things to grow. So seeds have everything they need in them to grow. It's all in that little bitty tiny seed. They just got to have the right conditions to grow. So that's what you're going to do. And I've got several different ways, different places you can grow them. And then each of you got 2 different types of seeds. All right. What you're going to do, these little bitty things are all seeds. So you have way more than you need. Okay. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to get your paper towel out and your seed packets out, and you're going to use this baggie. I want you to get your paper towel wet, okay? Not super wet, but pretty much all wet. And I want you to spread this out as best you can. It's kind of flimsy, wants to fall apart, in your baggie. Now, we did this with some younger grades, and we're able to watch things grow. So what we're going to do is we're going to put that wet baggie in there, okay? Or wet baggie. Wet paper towel in the baggie. And then I'm going to take some of my seeds. And you can read on the back, and it tells you all about these seeds and what they need to grow. But what I want to do is I want to get them to germinate. I want them to just start being able to grow right now. And I'm going to take these seeds and I'm going to sprinkle just a couple. You can do this with the packet or you can do it with your hand. Just get a couple in there and make sure they land on your wet paper towel. I'm just putting them in there. And you can probably see it. See those? And then I'm going to put this in the window and I'm going to tape it to the window. What's going to happen is that sunlight's going to warm it up. We've got those seeds and they've got some moisture from the wet paper towel, and they're going to start to germinate, start to grow. So you can leave that in there and see what kind of plants you get growing. Now, this takes a long time. Sorry, that was my phone. This takes a long, long time. And so what that means, I'll shut that off. What that means is that you're going to have to wait and be patient. Sometimes that's hard to do, I know. But you should be able to go and look at this and see how those are changing. And it might take a couple days, but you'll start to see those seeds change and get ready to turn into the plants. Okay? The next part of this comes with your kit and your soil pods. Okay? I'm going to put that in water. I've got a little cup here. Now, if you've got a tray, you can put water in the tray, mix it up. And what you're going to do, I've got a fork that might need to soak a little bit. And I'm going to work on getting that soil pod to break up. I'm just kind of scraping it a little bit. And it's kind of got this little plastic paper thing on top. Don't worry about it. All we're going to do is you can start to see my water's getting dirtier And if you want to get messy, you can use your fingers and start working that and loosening that soil up, taking it out of that little pod and getting a nice, good, wet soil going. Look at my hands. Ooh. But for kids that like to play in dirt, this is your chance, right? And you're going to get a nice dirt going. Now, I did this in here so you could see it, okay? You can see that. We don't want it to turn to mud, but we like a good wet, moist soil. If it's muddy or it's too wet, what's going to happen is those seeds are going to rot and they won't grow. So we don't want it to be too wet in there. We want all that good, rich soil. And I've still got this little packet that soil was in. And it will eventually disintegrate. Or you can clean out all the soil on there. And you can throw that in the trash if you want to. All right. So I think I'm going to take that out there so it's not in my way. Throw it in my trash can. Again, something that's getting a little messy. So make sure you're ready to clean up. And my soil's in here nice and rich. And you're going to do this 6 times, okay? So you might be making a mess, and you're going to put it back in your little container, okay? You're going to put this soil back in here, and then you're going to pick out what seeds you want and plant them in your soil. Now, you want to put it in the window. If you've got a cap that you can put on top, you don't have to worry about the water vapor escaping. It'll stay right in there and keep your plant nice and moist. You won't have to keep watering it. If you didn't get one of those, you can either keep watering it, which is kind of fun, or you can put a piece of plastic over the top of it, put it in the window, and that will keep it growing as well. Now, don't forget, you're going to have to eventually take that off. You're going to have to eventually take this off when they get too tall and are going to need to grow further. And again, this is going to take a little while. Life takes a little while. It's not instant, right, for things to grow. And so I think I've got my soil all nice and messy, mixed up. I put it in there. I grab some of my seeds. Read the directions. How deep do I need to sow it? Depth to sow. And it says 1/8 of an inch. That's not very much. Tiny, tiny, itty bitty. But you can ask your parents what that is if you're not sure. And you can plant them and see which ones grow faster. You've got 2 seed packets. And that is what you're doing for this experiment. Now, are you going to have instant results? No way. But you can definitely hang this one in the window and watch it. And have those in here and watch those. Put those in the window too. And see when your plants start to grow. And that's so exciting. I tell you, I love going outside and looking at the plants. I love messing in my landscaping, even in my garden. Maybe you have a garden at home too, and you can see plants growing in that, and you can plant seeds. And even when these get a little bit bigger, you might be able to move them to your garden or to your landscaping or someplace outside. You might not have a spot outside, but so you can just keep them in there too, okay? That's all for this science experiment. And you have enough seeds, so you can always try some soil outside your house. Or if you want to save it, and if something doesn't work, you can always try again. Remember, good scientists try experiments again. All right. I think it's time for me to wash my hands. What do you think? Okay, another messy experiment. Make sure you clean up your mess. And that ends science experiment number 3.